Another day of portraits, and I know that I've been slipping into just drawing a portrait in front of you, and I want to make a big effort in today's lesson to be more structurally descriptive and see if I can make it more useful in that way. Okay, so when we began talking about portraits, we started out by what I called a compound shape. And the compound shape goes something like this. The compound shape helps us really establish where what our camera angle is, how it is that we're looking at the figure that we're looking at. So when we're looking at this figure, if you imagine that that box goes here, and I don't take it all the way back to the jaw. I think of it as sitting in here like that, and then I think of the circle as in here like that. Okay? I want to do a better job on the circle, so I think of, in fact, this portrait, because of the coloring, because of its coloring, I want to switch the color of my pen and see if I can't be more clear. So if I take my pen color, and now if I draw the box goes right here, okay? That's where the box is, and I'm looking slightly into the top of the box, and I can see the side plane of it. And then the top of the head is a circle that's here. And then we'll start to look for the center plane, which is right there. And once we find the center plane, we drop down, and going a little to the left gives us the width of the chin, and a little to the right gives us the width of the chin, and we bring in the jaw and connect it like that. And you can look for the jawbone over here, and you'll see less of it because a lot of it is hidden behind the face. So those are our first construction points, and I'll keep on adding to our construction points. Okay, so we'll start with this time. A lot of times, what I've been starting with over the last couple days, and I don't know, is a sort of an overall dynamic shape for the head. I've been kind of looking for some shape to encapsulate the drawing within, and at this time I can see that it's something like that. But this time I want to take that shape and I want to put it to the side. I'm just going to say that's something that I'm just considering as being deeply related to this portrait. But let's start out with more of a circle and the square, and we'll start to look for, as you see, I'm going to be looking for the center line, which is further to the left than it is to the right. I'm going to line these up now as a compound shape. I'm going to start building these, and then you can recall that the jaw comes in like this and over. Now, one thing that I'm not achieving with what I've done is I'm not achieving the proper tilt, okay? And so in order to achieve the proper tilt, what I need to do is I need to establish the circle and the square relationship better. So the square needs to move to the left. And that's going to get me my tilt more correctly. We'll see. So I'm going to bring these lines up and start looking for the jaw and how it interacts in here. Okay, and I've got the head tilting now. Okay. Now, keeping in mind this shape and asking myself to push the outside shape in that direction. remember that once I found the box, I find the center line. Here's my center line. I go a small bit to either side, and that gives me the width of my chin, and I connect back to the far end of my jaw with that. Okay? Working from here, working now the center line, some of the things that are necessary. So another major construction point that we've been working with is that we carve out a shelf where the eyes go. That's one of the moves that we have for the eyes. And so let's look at the portrait that we're working with, and you can start to see there and there. So let's cut inwards here. And that's going to change the center line. We'll come back up and over. One thing that's displayed really nicely here, there's a way of conceiving of this block here, and it's kind of like this. That this is this plane right here, okay? And then another piece that I've been sort of pressing on you guys is this idea of a butterfly shape that works in here as well, and it kind of goes up and over and down and in and under and up, back up in. And that gives us a shadow side for the brow, but also the light side for the brow. I like the way that works. And over on this side, you can see it too. You can see it right there. And then you can see the shadow side of that form. It's like this is the form that the top of it describes, and here is where you get that, you know. And so so I've gone just way too far down with the butterfly shape over here, with the eye socket. But at any rate, that's not even the portrait that we're drawing. So in here, you see this. That's what we draw here. And around that, you can step to the side of that and look for the tear duct, and over to the other tear duct right there. And the butterfly shape comes up around this way. So as you go up, this is the bottom side of the butterfly shape, up and cutting and down, and then the top side of it is right here, up and over. And you can just be symmetrical with it. And what's happening is the form goes up in shadow and then crosses in light, and then it makes there will be another shadow up here, a very gentle shadow because it's all in light. The shape on the bottom of the nose, you can just like say like, okay, you can see again, you see this like triangle where the nose hits the face. Here's the triangle where the nose hits the face. and then it has to come forward like that. And so you can see the ball of the nose is here, and actually in this case the ball of the nose is moving this way. The ball of the nose is like here, and here's underside of the triangle, and that would be in shade. And then over here, here's the underside of the triangle. And we're a little bit running out of real estate, aren't we? We're a little bit running out of face, maybe a little too quickly. It seems like the face is much, much wider up here. So let's investigate this. The eye, the brow, the ridge of the nose over to an eyeball through here, and then the edge of the shelf of the face, the edge of the shelf of the eyes might be moved over like to there, and that makes it so that we would move the zygomatic arch over a little further, and that opens up some real estate for us in there. Okay, so again, here's my tear duct. Here is the butterfly, the top of it, which means that I can find the bottom. Here's the bottom of it. That's this ridge that runs right here, okay? And its shape kind of like that and over. And the brow travels the center of it. And in this case, the eyelid comes below this space here. I want to keep it going upward for longer. That's the eyelid. There's the eyeball. And she's definitely looking right at you. All of this stuff is in shadow. And then underneath the eye, this shape of the butterfly continues down until it finds the bottom of the eye socket. And all of this stuff in here falls in shadow. The more you practice, the more graceful your hatching will become. Following the line of the ridge, which is also perhaps the line of the brow, and out, as I move out this way, this goes up like this. And this here, that zone right here, we could mark in the front of it and look over to the other side and mark the front with where the zygomatic arch ends. That's right here. But then there's this whole ridge that runs up this way. It runs over and back to the ear, and here's the ear. And that ridge is like, again, it's a ridge. Like it's almost like a rooftop on its side. And culminating in a cylindrical shape, a spherical shape. And it forms this whole ridge, this whole part of it, right there is the edge of it, okay? And so from there it goes back this way. And you can see very slightly, you see right there? You see that change in value that happens right there? That change in value represents the change in the ridge, the change from the top of the zygomatic arch to the side of it. This has outlived its usefulness. As we move to the other side of the form, you're looking for the same evidence of the forms that we were just working with, which is the zygomatic here. And okay. Up, here's the brow, here's the brow. We'll think of the brow as marking the middle of a ridge where there's going to be a light here and there's shadow below. And all of that goes on top of the eyelid, which is right there. And then under the eyelid you run into the eyeball. This is going to want to move over. This is all in deep, deep shadow. From the nose, okay, let's look at this. So there's a piece of skin, there's a piece that goes like this, and it comes around. Okay, it comes like this, and it goes around like this, and it will become more pronounced as we grow older. But you can see how it ties in up here. It comes like this. And there's another one that's thought of like this, coming out this way and under. There's another one that comes over and under, and then there's a piece that goes like this and around. Okay? And the chin really emerges from between them. Like you see how the chin kind of emerges from between them. So we can use those as indicators of how and where the face is falling. And as you look for them in here, you can see around, here's the zygomatic, here's the cheekbone. Down here, there's a long development until we hit the corner of the jawbone. But up through here, the little shadow of the nose, and this is all going to show me that my chin needs much more space. Here's, you see here, the chin, a little bit of form emerging between these things, out from here, held in place by this piece of flesh here, which will come up to there. Looking for it on the other side as well. Here, this, we would look for it on the other side, the bottom of the eye socket, and the zygomatic arch, as it wraps around, it's hidden. It has a shadow that lands on it there. This is a very soft edge in his painting, but as it comes over and around and lands there, the top plane on this form that I use that butterfly for. And then you can see in here a side plane, like coming this way. It goes right there like that. Okay, and I'm overdoing it to just sort of get you to see it. And the top of the hairline, and it crosses over and around and drops squarely down, and the ear is in here. And this will make it much more elegant because I've made the neck too thick, and so thinning the neck down will always help in terms of trying to make something feel more elegant. It may be too much what I just added. And this woman's hair is just huge. And the effect of the portrait with all these extra lines is going, it's going to like, it would kind of be aging her. Her hair comes up to here. And it would really be worth going back and trying to get your lines nicer. Like especially say like a line like this. The under the lip shadow. Okay.